Hey guys, welcome back to the Calling Mom podcast. I'm Jaden.
And I'm CJ, also known as Mom. And today we have a special guest, my favorite person on the planet, my husband, Jaden's father, Rusty.
Hey guys.
Woo! We're so excited that he's here. But today's episode is why we brought him on. We're talking about dating, relationships, and lessons from every season of life. Dad, do you want to kick us off and tell us how y'all met?
Sure. Wow. This is a story long time ago in a galaxy. No, I'm just kidding. We actually met. It's a pretty cool story that I worked at a place it was a skating rink basically in North Alabama. And CJ was there and she was with her friends. And it was just great because I was like, who is that? And she caught my eye immediately. My first impressions of her was she's very athletic, very sportsy. She was very friendly, approachable, and you could just tell that she was having a good time with everyone else. Wouldn't you say that's basically it?
Yeah, I think the funny thing about all of that, though, is when we first met, I was actually 15 years old.
Okay, you didn't have to
Which
say that.
which sounds really terrible, but Rusty was only 17
Yeah,
years
I was
old. So
young, yeah.
there's only a couple years between us. But Rusty actually had a girlfriend,
That's true.
and I was all about playing softball in college, and so we really were just friends.
Yeah.
We really hung out, and it just kind of wasn't like that at first. So, but we immediately became really great friends.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is, since we've been together for so long, I feel like there's several things that maybe the listeners want to know, and maybe some things that we've kind of learned about each other. And I feel like we need to have grace for one another. I feel like grace is very important because when you choose to get married, you actually feel like, hey, this person is going to see me my good days, my bad days, all of those things.
You think people like think about that? Because I don't think they do.
Well,
Like-
they should.
Right? You know, that's like how long when you're dating, like how long does it take for you to burp in front of that person, or oh my gosh, pass gas in front of that person? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when do people really get to see like those like icky parts of who you are? You
I
know?
definitely think there's a honeymoon phase where you're on your best behavior,
Right.
and then it turns into one of those things where you become comfortable with one another, and those things just naturally come out. And then, of course, you have to act polite again, and then it starts all over until time passes.
That's so good. I think Jaden probably has a ton of questions for us, but I think that's kind of what I mean by that is that I think the one thing about me and you when we were dating that where we kind of passed like those things was we didn't get to know each other while we were dating. We got to know each other as like true friends.
That's true.
And so we hung out with the same people. You know, one thing about me and Rusty was Rusty is a really good basketball player. And I'm saying that like you still are. Like you go and like hoop all the time or something. I don't know. Maybe Rusty still is good.
I just got through.
He's still fast. But here was the thing. If you know me, you know that I am like the massive height of like 5'2". But I ended up playing softball in college, but I really wanted to be like this hoopster. Like I wanted to be like this great basketball player. Well, when you're 5'2", you don't offer a whole lot, right? But Rusty would go and play street ball, like pickup ball on like Sunday afternoons and things like that. And I thought if I could learn to play as kind of rough and tough as they were playing, because that's where we would go and like hang out and
Yeah.
stuff. I thought if I could learn to play with the boys, I bet at my 5'2" self, I could dominate on the floor with girls. It actually kind of worked out. Like it actually been good. I mean, like really great. However, Rusty's girlfriend didn't really like me a whole lot because she wasn't athletic and sportsy. So we were kind of hanging out in an area. And remember, we're totally friends. Like there is
That's true.
nothing between us that really want to date. I mean, we're just like hanging out. So like Rusty got to see me in like all of the awkward things that would have been awkward if we were dating. they weren't awkward because we were friends. So like I was sweaty and I was gross and I wouldn't wear makeup and I didn't care if we went to McDonald's or Burger King to eat or whatever. Like we just did those things that did
It was
like
a cool season.
yeah, it was just, and so I think when we finally made the transition into dating, which to be honest was kind of a lot of peer pressure between our friends. It was really our friends being like, after Rusty ended his relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, there was some grace there, but after a grace period where Rusty had ended that relationship and all of our friends were kind of like, okay, so are you guys going to go out now? And we were like, I don't know. And this was like several like months, maybe even a year later after we met. And we actually, even as young as we were, had this super mature conversation about, okay, we know we're friends. Could we go out on a date? And if it doesn't work out, like if it feels awkward and weird, could we just go back to being friends and act like that part never happened? We actually had that conversation beforehand.
Yeah.
We had this massive date planned. We were going to go out. We did end up going to eat. We were going to go to a movie. We scratched the movie. Do you remember what we ended up going and doing?
Oh, yeah. We went and played tennis, and I thought it was the best date ever. I thought it was great.
Yes.
I think I won. So it was just a good.
You probably did not win.
It was a good season for us, and that kind of entered into our relationship. So speaking of seasons, do you want to tell the audience where we are with you?
Yeah, kind of.
I just did that whole segue as graceful as I could.
Kind of how the conversation of dating really came up for all of us again. Like, so share with them kind of your season that you're in.
Yeah, okay. 'Cause y'all just went on a whole little tangent about your love story. And I was like,
It's easy to get carried away in it.
Yeah.
It is.
Also, they don't know how long y'all been together. And
We'll talk about that another
Okay,
episode.
okay, fine. Yeah, okay. So I got married last year. We're in 2025. Yeah, last year in July of 2024, and then 7 months later, there was infidelity in my relationship. Not on me, or not from. I didn't do it. And then
Very well said.
Thank you, thank you. I'm still learning the PR statement. No, but after in February I moved back in with y'all, and just recently filed, like, the whole divorce thing was finalized and completed. So now I'm in the season of just Jaden and living with y'all again and being annoying and all the great stuff. Yeah, so
What's one thing maybe that you're learning in this season?
good job. I told some of my friends, like, I think this is the first time I've ever, like, known what it is to love myself. And obviously throughout this whole thing I introduced myself to therapy and was in pastoral counseling, and I really took all the steps to make sure that my heart was not hardened through this situation. And but I think I finally figured out, like, how to love myself, like, who I am and what I enjoy to do, and not, because I think, like, when you're growing up you're always looking for, like, who your husband is or who your spouse is, and that's, like, the thing that, like, in the back of your mind you're always looking at. Like, you see cute fish and you're like, oh, husband material. And I think for the first time right now I'm just like, I'm not shut off to the fact of, I know there's a great man out there for me. I'm not shut off to that, but I am like, oh wow, like, I can take myself on solo dates and I enjoy that, and I enjoy myself and, like, what I'm good at. Just falling in love with little things that I don't think I actually ever fell in love with when I was growing up, type of vibe. Yeah.
That's good. Walking through this season, what do you think would be one of your, like, major takeaways?
Yeah. I think throughout this entire, like, it started back in March when it had kind of just happened, because it was late February when I moved back. And but I just remember talking to one of my counselors, or one of my therapists, and she was saying, like, she kind of just gave me hope for the next season. But at the time you're not thinking about, like, dating, honestly. And I'm kind of, you marry somebody thinking that they're going to be the one for you forever, right? And so knowing that that's kind of like come to a screeching halt and that it's kind of all falling apart, somebody told me that it's not like, or I guess I just had this thought, and it was like, there's going to be a man out there that's going to love me how I should be loved. It's either going to be my husband or it's not. Like, I know it's going to be one way or the other. And I mean, I did think that because my dad loves you so much, and that's the reason that I'm so hopeful about it, because I do know there's somebody out there for me who's going to love me like how I deserve to be loved and I want to be loved. And I mean, I think dad does a great job of loving you how you want to be loved. Like, and I also don't think it's going to be the same every day, but I also know that dad's like very open to communication about how do you need to be loved? You know, like things like that with life changes. Yeah. So
That's good. That's really good.
yeah, so okay, next thing we're obviously going to jump into is from a dad's point of view, or mom. I love your thoughts on this too, but like, what are some green flags? Do you know what
Wow.
green flags are?
Yes, I
Okay,
know what some green
I had
flags
to make sure. I
are.
had to make
What
sure.
are you talking about? Wow, I feel like one of them most definitely is respect. I feel like we're a team. You're my ride or die. We're together. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader, supporter, whatever you try to do. I want to be there to do that. Hence why I'm on a podcast right now. So that's one of them. I think consistency, with the good days and the bad days. I feel like that's very important too, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, actually, we actually talked about this on one of the previous episodes of when Jaden was walking through the season that she was walking in. We didn't really lean into what the season was about other than just the season that we've been walking through, really as a family. But we talked about that someone had shared that it's about the moments. Like, you can't let like one bad thing in the day like ruin your whole day. Like, it's just, let that moment stink. That moment might suck. That decision may
Right.
not be great, but okay, it happened. Now let's move on. So it can ruin that moment. It doesn't have to ruin the day. And so I think that's the same thing like with us is, there are bad, there are good,
Yeah.
and we just walk through them. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Another good, great green flag is that he's a gentleman. I think that he's going to serve his wife. I think he's going to pray for his wife. I think he's going to try to open the door for her. He's going to have the umbrella. He's going to
That's
walk.
a great point. What does serving your wife look like?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked. Well, I do know that mom's needs are different than my needs.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, how can I make her world the easiest to deal with? Because she has so many complex duties, thoughts where I can shut my mind off and go straight to bed. She cannot. So therefore, if I feel like she's anxious or feeling certain ways about things, I'm always asking, hey, what can I do to help? To make this better? Do I need to get groceries? All those kinds of things. Because I think it's very important because I don't know what's going on inside of her mind. So
Okay, this is so funny. I would never let Rusty go grocery shopping.
No,
there are small things I can get.
Yeah, but if Rusty goes grocery shopping, we're broke. Anytime we go grocery shopping, I'm
I
like,
like groceries.
I go with a list and I buy what's on
Yeah.
the list, and then like I'm like, little Debbie was not on the list at all, and she comes home with us every time. We just spend more money when Rusty goes to the grocery store. I think you speaking into being a gentleman is one of the biggest things. I do think that I am a very strong. I'm like I literally, because of and this is really because of my mother, I just always learned that if I want to do something, then I can do it. I mean, if I need to, change a flat on the tire, change a flat on a car,
There you go.
I probably, like I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know of anything, if I put my mind to it, I feel like I can do things.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those things where people talk about submission. Now, I know that we're talking about dating. We're not talking about really marriage necessarily on this one. But the Bible tells us that we're to be a submissive wife. And I feel
Right.
like sometimes that word is like almost like a four-letter word. Like submissive, like women aren't so. We're in we're in this era of like women being so strong and independent and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I am very capable of opening any door that I want to
Yeah.
walk through. I'm very capable of opening the door on the car.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There's just something about Rusty wanting to take care of me like that makes me, I'm okay with that. I don't have to open the door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I will tell you something else, and I think this speaks a lot into our household. I don't like to do laundry. Like, I just don't like it. Guess what? He does. And so, as we've learned each other over the years, we've learned those little things that we can do for each other that makes each other's life easier. But I think that's also because Rusty does put, I hope I put my needs before, or his needs before mine, and he does such a great job of putting my needs before his. And really, I think it's Craig Rochelle that says, this is something else that Rusty does really well. And we learned this from, I don't know if we learned it from Craig Rochelle. He just says it so well, but it's if you think something good, say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is
That's great.
something that Rusty does really well, and that we always think the best of each other, and always when something is good, we point it out in each other.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I do think they have one of the best relationships I've ever seen, but y'all have given me some tools that I don't think you guys even realized that you've given me throughout dating and my own marriage or my own friendships, of like when you just said it, Dad, like you don't know when mom's anxious and you're just like, what can I do for you? You used to do this, or he still does it actually, but he's like, which cap do I need to put on? And he's like, do I just need to listen, or do I need to help? Do
Yeah.
I need to, and he'll ask these questions before we go on like a full spill or rant. And I've taken that into like my friendships, because one, you're being like, you're in the moment, like you're willing to do whatever is needed
Right.
of you.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
that's such a like a beautiful thing. But you also said something else. Oh, I don't know. I guess it's just the way that you honestly, I mean, you say it to all the girls. Obviously, you're going to put mom first because she's your wife and you love her. But if you see something good, say it. And you always make sure that you say something good about all of us, all of his girls. And just makes us, like, again, I think that's the reason why I'm so, like, hopeful for the future. Because I know, like, you're a great father and a great dad and a great husband. Great father and a great dad. Wow. Yeah.
It's double. It's double. Write that down.
I've never called you father before. No, but I do think that's
Those are the green flags.
yeah, I
though, that
love it.
think
Now
of.
tell me
Yeah.
the red. We want to get in the juicy
Wow,
stuff.
some of the red. I feel like, oh my goodness, immaturity. I do feel like a lot of the ladies get the short end of the stick just basically because they're more spiritually mature than the guys are. At the Christian college we work at, we even have chapel services, and I see the ladies down front pressing in and all that, and the guys are not. I feel like the maturity level spiritually alone is not up to the ladies where they're already there yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think immaturity, and even out of a spiritual context, does he put you first?
That's a good one.
I'll tell you something that I felt like I didn't necessarily have to deal with in dating, that I do think is kind of an obstacle for young ladies now.
Mhm.
But video games.
Mm.
Video games were like this. Yeah, I mean, like clearly they were around. Like we had Nintendos and Game Boys and things like that, but they just weren't. I mean, clearly like they are today, and I just think. Now listen, I'm not saying we had sports. Like we clearly had hobbies that we did,
Yeah.
that we were either able to invite people along with us or things like that. But if he would have ever have chosen that over me, to me that would have been a red flag. Like
That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, like put it down. I'm in your presence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like clearly Jesus needs to be number one.
Right.
But in this relationship, I clearly know who number two is.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Right.
You know, and for me it's him. And I think when he comes into the room, if I'm watching a movie or I'm watching a show and he wants to sit down and he wants to talk, then everything gets set aside.
Right.
You put your phone down. Like he has my attention more than any person on the planet.
Yeah.
And so I think that is something. Here's another one that I think is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So we were watching football the other day. Now, cool fact, Rusty and I enjoy just about all the same things. So when we talk about hobbies, I literally did marry my best friend.
Yeah, they
because we really do enjoy all the same things. I mean, take me to a hockey match and show me a good fight. You know, like football, like any sporting event, it doesn't matter. Like we're just all in.
Right.
Well, we were watching a football game the other day, and there was a Teddy Bridgewater commercial that came on, and it was two ladies, and they're sitting there and they're kind of gossiping or sharing their problems. Well, the friend wasn't listening well, and so she subbed in Teddy Bridgewater, and he comes in, and he is a substitute listener. I know. If y'all haven't, go look up this. It is
I think it was Progressive or something.
It had to have been an
Yeah,
insurance
yeah.
commercial.
Sure.
Either way,
Sounds right.
Teddy Bridgewater says one of the best lines about relationships. Like, put this on a t-shirt, put it on a mug. I don't know. Young ladies, write it on your mirror. He says, well, I do know one thing. You're not a mechanic and you don't need to fix it.
That is gold.
It was gold. I was like, that's
That
true.
is pure
That is a good
gold.
red flag to share.
Yes.
I feel like another one, especially in Christian culture, is just intensity, like moving too fast sometimes. And that the reason why I say that's a red flag is we dated for a while. So we dated for 3 years and we were engaged for 3 years. And I feel like the reason why our situation was so unique was because when we started dating, we weren't believers, then went through, became believers, and then went into ministry after that. So that's why I feel like, we were just having a good time. And I think we've had conversations and all that. And if it wasn't for my dad passing away, I feel like we still could have been dating, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd have waited that long.
I think there's a difference though with today, like today's society and today's dating. It's like for us, we're in the ministry, like college, like Christian college, right? So you either have like you go to college and then you marry right after, or like a lot of people are playing the house, like playing house, but no ring. You know, like I think there's
Not at the Christian college.
not at the Christian college, but like I think those are two, like in this generation, like the two main things is like I mean for us, speaking from like
No, you're right. Because there's that whole taboo statement of like, we all joke about it, but let's get real. It's a thing. But the whole ring by spring thing.
yeah, no,
And I don't think that's just, I think that is definitely a joke about Christian colleges. But I also
obviously.
think it's real about those who are just, that aren't going to a Christian college. I think there's a lot of pressure at, hey,
get your life together,
well,
right?
and not just around dating, but this was a thing when we were growing up as well. But I say after I got out of college, I would absolutely make jokes about, I don't know how many times I wanted to change my major. And
Right.
like, was I really supposed to know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life at 18 years old?
Right.
When I jumped into college at 18, was I really mature enough to be like, oh my gosh, after I'm married for 20 years and I have 2 children, and, is this really what I want to do with my day to day, every day? Like, and so I think, you're thrust, out of high school, you're 18 years old. Now grow up.
Yeah.
Go to college for 4 years because this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. While you're there, meet your significant other and then move away together and go start your life and have kids. Like, there's a lot of pressure in your early 20s to like, hurry things up.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm learning currently in my season is like I'm 23. You know, like why do I need to have my life together at 23 years old? Like obviously I should be making money cuz you can't live without money.
Right,
But
right.
like I'm not slacking off, but I shouldn't
Yeah.
like I think now like I did go off. I was married. I did go off. I had a like I was doing the whole marriage thing, you know, and then coming back after that and now that I'm finally like in a good spot and like you know have my feet on the ground again, it's like wait, I'm 23, why am I trying to like rush everything?
Right.
Because now like I think for the first time since I was 18, because I went to college when I was 18, I finally feel like I've slowed down and I'm like actually enjoying this season of my life, you know, like
Yeah.
like this is the one time in my life where I can travel, you know, and I don't have any weight. Me and one of my best friends, we went to the beach literally last week, but me and her like plan in 2 years to like go backpacking around Europe. Haven't even told y'all about this, but
Wow.
we're planning it. Like even have like a budget that we need to save up to and all that. Anyways, but like this is the first time in my life where I can do those things and not be, you know, not I don't want to say tied down because it's not a weight, but it's like you know you are tying yourself to somebody else,
Yeah.
and you know, and I think for the first time it's like whoa, like who's Jaden? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? Like why do I have to figure that out now at 23 years old when I don't even know what I want to wear tomorrow? You know, like
Sure.
I think that's some yeah.
I was going to say that I know we were just talking about red flags and green flags, and I'm as a dad, I'm hoping and praying that we prepared you for dating.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't let you date that much, but you more did courting and all of that. And
Yeah.
How do you feel about that situation and growing up in the courting world?
I have something to add on to that question. So while you're going to talk about that, so that definitely was the rule. Like you growing up, you were more in this courting where you were any guy that you were with a lot of friends as
Yeah.
well. That's kind of
Yeah.
our definition of courting. You guys didn't have a lot of time to be just the two of you, but there was a massive rule around our home, and I'd love to know your take on that. So while you're talking about the courting thing, the rule around our house was after you got to that age of okay, you know, we'll go on dates and things.
Yeah.
It was that we date to marry. So whenever you realized you weren't going to marry
Yeah.
this young man, that you had to break up with him.
Right.
So in that, like that was a rule around our house. I want to know your take on that now that you've been married. You're 23.
Right.
How does that kind of sit now?
Now, yeah. I think I mean I think that was such a good rule. Like as a like looking back now, I think even in that situation I really respected the rule and I really liked the rule. The courting, I think courting is a genius idea. Just because of how y'all dated. Like y'all dated for 3 years, engaged for 3. Like y'all were best friends, and like you said, you were best friends before you guys even started dating. I think like courting gives you an opportunity to see how he is with your best friends.
That's good.
And let me tell you, now looking back, okay, you get blinded, okay, and it's. You know, it's
Hindsight's 2020.
Oh yeah, yeah.
it happens to the best of us, okay? But the way they react with your best friends should say a lot. Cuz there's a reason they're your best friends. They obviously act like you know, have the same humor, you know, like
Right.
you have that special bond. So how does he act with your friends? And how do you act with his friends?
Yeah.
Cuz that says a lot too. And I should have listened again. We all make mistakes. But I think now going into that, like now I would definitely, for whoever that future man is in my life, how does he hang out with my best friends? You know, how do we court together? Because I think now it's easier to just go on dates and see how it is. But I do think there needs to be courting aspects, if that makes sense. But as a teenager, I really loved it. None of us had cars. Why would I like get in a car like in the backseat with his mom in the front? You know, like that's weird. I did it. It's weird. But we all went to the movies. We courted. It was just a bunch of group. Like if my friends couldn't hang out, sorry, dude, we're not hanging out tonight. Like, that's how that was. Which I think it lessened the pressure on me. Obviously, at first, it was like, oh, you're that girl. Like, you always have to bring your friends around, or you always have to have people around. I think, like, later on in that little high school era, it was so helpful because everybody knew, like, if you were going to ask Jaden out, it's going to be a group first. Like, I think they already knew, and I was like, okay, that takes pressure off from me. The breaking up, though, I did have this one boy, first boyfriend, thank you, Lord. God bless his soul. He's not dead. Why did I do that?
R.I.P.
He's not dead. He's living a good life right now. Anyways, I remember that we grew up together.
Yeah.
So we already knew each other. You knew his family. I knew his family. Then we were both 15 at the time. He was a year older than me, but we were like recently the same age. And we have been dating. I mean, y'all took us from like softball. I was at softball, he was at baseball, so we were always at games together. So like that was kind of our, oh, do you want some of my popcorn at the games? You know, like that type of dating at the time. And then we started actually being girlfriend and boyfriend. And then I remembered he got a car, so then we started going on actual dates, which y'all were cool with, obviously. Like, we had curfews and everything. And I remember a couple months afterwards, I was like, I'm not going to marry this dude. In the most respectful way. But I told Mom, I was like, I don't see myself marrying this guy. Like, we're just not down the same path. And she was like, okay, well, you have to tell him. I was like, oh, in person. She goes, yeah, Jaden, in person. Obviously, you're going to do it right. You're going to be respectful. And I was like, okay, fine. Again, I just had an epiphany like 2 seconds ago that's why I'm so confrontational. I feel like that should be known. I did not realize that until...
Healthy confrontation.
Right, healthy. I'm very... Yes. But like now I understand why, because... Thank you, Lord. But anyways, she made me write down a letter of like why I wanted to break up with him. It was really short and sweet because there was like, I'm not gonna tell the dude I'm not gonna marry him. Like that seems a little harsh for freshman year, but
you heathen.
Yeah, I know.
But I remember it was after school, and my mom was a teacher at our school at the time, and I pulled him into her classroom, and I sat down on a desk, and I was like, listen. I literally remember myself opening the letter and being like, I'm breaking up with you. We're just not right for each other. And I remember reading it, and I did.
End quote.
End quote. And I remember saying, it's not you, it's me. And obviously, we had to pull out
Insert cliche here.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, had to. And then, but he was still my best friend afterwards. And I think that's why...
I was going to say, I know that there was an awkward period after you guys broke up.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking like puppy love here.
Yeah.
Like very early on. But you guys really did end up being friends. You actually ended up going to prom together.
My junior, his senior year.
Senior year, you guys went to prom together. And we still adore him today and love his family. But... Well, I think that caused a level of respect, though.
Yeah.
Do you know? And
we ended on good terms. I think that's why we, stay close for so long.
Well, I do think that there's other things that, besides courting, that we taught you in dating was probably the top one that's my favorite is a guy will say anything to date you. I told Jaden and Haven, that's true. I told Jaden and Haven a long time ago that a guy will fake cancer, he will fake an illness, whatever it is to get you to go out with him.
I think we've learned this on off of Catfish, the TV show.
Maybe.
Yes.
No, we love Catfish, and I point at it out all the time. All the red flags.
We love the TV show.
Yeah,
correct.
People who catfish are terrible.
This is a true story going back to your freshman year of high school. This is one of my favorites. Like I came home from work. And Jaden, how was your first day of school? Do you remember the story? Oh, yeah. Well, hang on. You're going to remember it just a second. And you're like, oh, it's great. I met some people. I met this guy.
Where was I? Do we remember?
Freshman year.
Okay.
And you said, hey, met this guy. And we were talking. And he asked for my phone number. And I said, why did he ask you for your phone number? And you said, well, he said he can help me with my math homework or something.
Oh
and I said, Jaden, it's the first day of school. You don't even have homework yet. I said, this guy likes you. And you go, Dad, he doesn't even know me. How can he like me? I said, he likes you. She said, you're being silly, whatever. So the next day, I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm pulling into the driveway. She is waiting for me in the driveway. And I rolled down my window and I said, hey, babe. And do you remember what she said?
He likes.
She said, you were right. And I said, right about what? And in my mind, I'm going, I know exactly what this is about. And she said, he likes me. And I said, he what? He likes me. I said, baby, I know. Lesson numero uno. He will do anything to go out with you to get your number to pursue a relationship.
Yep.
Wow, that just took. I knew exactly where I was when he asked too. That like took me back. I was at my locker. We were decorating our lockers.
Her cheeks are hurting. Like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one of them. And then I think the other thing that I was thinking about with dating, especially just for the young women to understand about good guys, is that they're awkward. They just need a lot of grace. They don't know what to say. All the things, like usually I'll ask guys, I'll say, hey, how do you ask a girl out for a date, or where do you approach them out? And y'all, I just get some of the craziest answers. And so it just makes me think, if a young female, a young lady knew that a guy was going to ask them out, just to have grace. There's this great video that's going around about this girl. She's wanting to find a guy, right? Mm-hmm. And so she goes to Hobby Lobby, and she has like a light or a chandelier or something that she wants to hang.
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Oh, I was like, she's
or Home
only
Depot.
finding girls at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Home Depot. Thank you, babe. Home Depot. And so she asked a guy a question about it, and he says, oh, yeah, you need to do this, this, and this. And the next thing you know, the guy has offered to help hang the chandelier or the light. And so she's like, that'd be great. And next thing you know, she's like, I'll cook dinner. And that's how easy it is for the guy. If the ladies would just approach the guys, this would be so much easier. Yes, a guy that is sincere, that wants a relationship with a beautiful, godly lady, he's going to be like, yes, I will do that. Am I lying?
Okay, but
I don't think you're lying, but I don't think
easy, y'all.
Yeah,
No.
I'm not saying that it might not be that easy, but the level, I know guys may be awkward, but the level of play that is going on in the female brain for that is like,
can you please read my mind on this right now? Because that is so,
yeah,
like,
I don't think I can agree with this, Rusty.
To a certain point, I agree with you, because see, this doesn't pertain to me, but if I ask a man to come over, like, say we're friends, okay, yeah, and I live with roommates still, because this is a past memory.
Okay.
Hey, come over, like, we'll play like spicy Uno, okay? And they come over, and nothing happens. Whose fault's that? Like, okay. Here, I'm gonna set the picture for you, okay? You come over, you play spicy Uno. He has a friend, she has a friend. It's just a bunch of friends, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's obvious from the girl's standpoint, she's flirting a little bit, okay? She's flirting like open. He could take a freaking.
I'll take this. Are you saying that the lady asked the guy over to come play Uno? Okay, he wouldn't take that as anything, because I think so many guys have no game or have been shot down,
but
that they wouldn't know that you were actually expressing interest. It was just a fun thing to do because you didn't want them to be lonely. If the female, the lady, was like, hey, will you hang this for me? Absolutely, I will. First of all, he's being a gentleman. He doesn't have a ring. Now, everybody that you're talking to on the first date or first interaction, you're trying to interview them as to find out, That's another thing.
Oh.
Sidebar. Every date should be a job interview. It's like a job interview.
Oh,
Hey,
agreed.
where do you see this? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you want to have kids? Where do you blah, blah, blah? All those things. Are we going to have the same bank account? All those things need to be
I
conversed
think
about.
you need to have awkward
before.
conversations.
Yes.
I think people are so.
And the quicker you get them out of the way, the
Yes.
better.
I think people are so timid to have awkward conversations nowadays.